Hello, and welcome to this week's Fiberific live craft and chat, where we craft and chat live. It's been another amazing week here. I'm having a really good time doing what I'm doing. It has been just like getting ready for the big wool show and emails and planning things and live streaming and all that stuff, right? It's been huge. I'm very tired today. Um, you can see me and you can hear me. That is awesome. Thank you, Sally. We have some amazing, amazing people who have jumped into the chat already. Good morning, Kathy and Leanne, Angela, Bianca, Sally, Kelly. Like, hi, everybody. It's so good to see. Now, I realized last night, just as I was climbing into bed, that I hadn't set up the live stream for today. So I was like, I'm just going to do it tomorrow. I'll just do it in the morning. So I'm sorry if it looked like I may not have been streaming today. So I appreciate those of you that are here. Also, I got a message this morning letting me know that my it's not 5 p.m. PT for those of you who follow the US time zones. I think it's is it 6 now. You guys have had your daylight savings change, and I forgot to change that as well. So I'm so sorry. I will have to go and check it out. Hey, Top Financial Alpha, great to see you. Thanks for jumping in. It is those of you that have been under a rock in the yarn world in Australia. The big wool show starts on Saturday. I was about to say tomorrow, but it's not tomorrow. It's on Saturday. Oh, sorry, Holly, you're right. 4 p.m. Oh, Russell was the one who sent me a message. It's 4 p.m. PST, not 5 p.m. So I'll have to go in and fix that. Thank you for the reminder. I totally forgot. I knew that in Australia a few weeks ago we had ours changeover for some of the southern states. We don't do daylight savings here, so I don't really think about it that much until I kind of have to. So it's just this intense week of getting everything ready for the big wool show, having some fantastic conversations with people. If you are not a subscriber over on the Big Wool Show channel and you are a yarn loving person, then you're missing out. It's that simple. That we just released this week, and late last week and this week we've released a pile of amazing interviews with the sponsors of the Big Wool Show for this year. And it has just been it's my honor to have these conversations with people. So I'm very spoiled. But you get to have your questions answered during the lightning round live streams that we do on Saturdays. So they're 15-minute live streams. Some of them will feel like they're going a bit quicker because they have giveaways. So if you want to go and check that out, you can totally go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the notifications. And if you go into the live stream, like the actual live streams that are sitting there, they're waiting to go. There's a link in there to join an email list where Danielle will send out an email 10 minutes before the live streams to remind us that they're about to start. So then you don't have to keep track of all the times. You're going to get an email saying 10 minutes, grab a coffee and get to your computer. Angela's saying, I missed that part of Claire's yesterday because of the time change. I've had to adjust for it. It's definitely it's we're all going to be going through these little times of adjustment while we sort out different time zones and what have you. I'm just fixing up this screen here. Sorry, I realized it was not right. But yeah, so we're all going to have these times of adjustments while we sort all that out. So it's all good. It's all good. So I had a question sent through to me this morning. And if you have a question that you would like answered in a live stream, email it through to info@fiberific.com.au. And if I can, I'll try and add them as little things in these live streams. But the question that I had was, if you're knitting something in the round, is it important to do your gauge swatch in the round, or is it okay to do it in the flat? So this question came from Kelly Pole. Kelly, excellent question. If you are knitting something in the round and you swatch in the flat, your swatch will give you no helpful information. Because when you're swatching in the flat, especially if it's like stockinette or something like that, you're going to be knitting and purling. And a lot of people's knitting and purling tension's slightly different. Now, it may seem like it's not going to make that much of a difference, but if you have just half a stitch out over 20 or 30 stitches, if you multiply that out into a garment, that could be inches, like lots of inches difference, and that could mean the difference between fitting and not fitting. So if you have to make something in the round and you need to swatch for it, you need to swatch in the round. Now, the second I got that question, a video that I'd watched a while ago, it jumped into my brain on how to swatch in the round without actually having to do the whole lot. Okay. So it gives you the round swatch measurements while still just swatching a little rectangle. Okay, so I'm just going to put it here in the chat. Hopefully the link works. It's a Franklin Habit video. You guys, if you know me, you know how much I love Franklin Habit. He is super smart, and this is such the best way for swatching in the round. And I've done this myself a couple of times for different projects, and it seems weird. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. It does feel weird and it seems weird, but you get an accurate gauge swatch. And if you're going to gauge swatch, you want it to be the closest it can possibly be, right? So if you're going to that effort of actually making the swatch, make the right swatch for your project. So if you are knitting in the round, then you need to swatch in the round. If you're knitting in the flat, you need to swatch in the flat, okay? Kelly, I hope that answers your question. And Franklin's video here runs through like the whys and also the hows, and on a few different ways. Oh, you need to right click the link or you will disappear from the stream. So here we go. Thanks for answering my question. It was a beanie, so not as big as a garment, but it's for a gift, so I'm under the pump for time. Yeah. Look, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because if you are under the pump for time, you feel like you're wasting time when you do the gauge swatch. But the reality is, if you need to make adjustments, you want to find out now before you're halfway through a hat going, is this a bit small? Is this going to fit an adult? So, you definitely want to check that now. I know in your message you said that the designer hadn't specified if they had swatched if their gauge was in the round or in the flat, and that's another tricky thing because they may have just literally just laid it down and done some measure-doos, and if they haven't told you, you don't know that. So but if they're doing that, if they've just knitted the beanie and then laid it flat, then they're measuring in the round. Okay, so I would definitely do a swatch. You don't have to like usual swatches, it doesn't have to be huge. And if you do it the way Franklin says, you can totally reuse the yarn. So definitely look into that. So today's live stream is entitled "Is Today the Day?" And the question refers to, is today the day that I finish the queen? As in finished, as in all of it. The answer is not yet. But if we drop down to hands camera, then we may be able to get it done. I have nearly finished, so I'm going to drop down here. I've nearly finished the third round of the front. So I've already done the back. So then we've got the front, and then we just need to go around and do the round of where we join them together. Yeah. So this is where we're at. Do you have a surprise for us? Says Leanne. I'm not sure what that's relating to. The surprise is I've nearly finished the third round. I will say that this is a bit more open than I was anticipating. It's the same size needle, like I use the same hook on the back, but the stitches are just a little taller on the front. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like I'm so like, oh my God, I'm so close and I'm crocheting too fast and therefore it's a bit looser. I don't know. So I'm consciously trying to, not crochet too fast, to squish the stitches down. But I probably could have gone down to a 4 mil, to be honest. So yeah, so Fiberific is having, it is also a stall holder at the Big Wool Show. There will be some show specials, and should I tell you what the show specials are now so you can be prepared, or should I just wait and let it be a surprise? I don't know. Maybe you can let me know in the chat. In my cup right now, I just have hot water and honey. I'm doing a lot to protect my voice this week. But in my thermos is my T2 licorice legs with some honey added to it. So as I top up my honey water, it will become more and more tea. I thought you'd work to get finished today, but that's okay. You're super close. Yes. So my goal is, because I'm like, I've only got this much to go till I've finished the 3rd round, and then it's straight on to the joining. So yeah, it is definitely I can taste it. And I've pulled out some chibis for weaving in it. That's how confident I am that we will be able to do this. Leanne's asking if I went down. I did, yes, I absolutely did. I was using a 5 mil on the rest of the blanket, and I've gone down to a 4.5. So yeah, hang on, hands. So yeah, I've gone down to a 4.5. So, but I probably could have gone down to a 4, just because I'm also crocheting looser, because there's so much nervous excitement in crochet happening. So yeah, so it's just been, I'm like, my brain is running at 100 miles an hour, just trying to work out what to talk about, what not to talk about, what to leave as surprises, because I've been working on a lot of different things this week. So Big Wool Show stuff, the Chantelle Hills live streaming stuff. I've been having client calls and producing other people's live streams and all that sort of stuff. So it's been a big, big week of activity. And so today I'm a bit like, where am I up to? What day is it? It's Thursday. Yes, it is. So yeah, it is just a little bit. We've just finished this. That was the end of that. Okay. I'm just weaving this across just a little, just so we've got a little bit of control over it. Weave in the ends. I've got my chibis. Have you guys, who in the chat has used these bent tip chibis before? They are my absolute favorite needles for weaving in. They were a game changer. I was always like, oh yeah, what's the point? You know, I can just use my tapestry needles, blah, blah, blah. And then I decided to use some. I don't know what made me actually do it, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll just grab one of those out. I think I didn't have mine, and I had to raid the stock or something. I can't remember exactly what made me. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not pulling on it too tight so that it's staying even to the others around it. So yeah, and I don't know what made me decide to try it, but I haven't gone back. I've now bought myself extra sets of them, and so that, you know, I've always got some, because they're the bee's knees. They make weaving in, and they also make mattress stitching like next level. I know that seemed bizarre. I've left that tail quite long, like it's quite long there, but it's going to be on the inside, so you know, whatever. Chibis are great. Kelly loves the bent chibis. Me too. Bent tips for Vampire, absolutely. It's so crazy. Best little workers around the little bent. They really are. Sorry, my eyes aren't focusing. Knitspin Girl doesn't like them. And you know what? That's 100% okay. That's why we have options, because some people do and some people don't. But I didn't know I did like them until I tried them. But probably the same thing. You probably didn't know you didn't like them until you tried them. It's like some people like stainless steel and some people like metal or bamboo or timber. I prefer stainless steel if I can, but good bamboo is also up there on my list. You should see the bag of ends that I have from this blanket. It's kind of hilarious. I've already woven the ends on the other side. I'm just weaving in these little ends, and then we can start actually doing the final. Feels even weird saying it, the final row. Oh my gosh. Just feels so weird. It's kind of like I was thinking about it this week. Like I have been working and not even just working on it, but had this project on the go for 2 years, right? And it's been the whole guilt project, like, oh, I can't work on anything else because I need to get this done. And it's been, it's been the one on my mind and trying to get it done. And to actually be, that one's just done. I think I worked over that one already. To actually be at this point now where it's the next task is to wash it. I'm just a bit overwhelmed by it, truth be told. Like last week when we did the final rows of the mosaic crochet, I got off camera and I nearly cried. I was just like, what? It was so weird. It was just so weird, you know? Have you decided on what project next from Molly? Molly, I've got a few options. My next crochet project is a kit that I ordered from Attic 24 called the Fireside Blanket. And I was going to do the striped version of it, but I don't think I'm going to now. I think I'm going to do the square version because it's join as you go. I mean, it was one of those things like I would have liked a little project that was a bit more portable because that's been the problem with this one. It's not a portable project. So that just means after this is done, because the Fireside Blanket is also nowhere near this big. Okay, it is knee rug size. It is for out on the couch. Like we were talking about in Claire's live yesterday, I like having blankets. It can be summer. I'll put the air conditioning on just so I can pull a knee rug up. So yeah, they'd already been worked in. They just needed a little end done. Oh my gosh, it feels so weird. Like, okay, all right. Oh, why are you cutting the ends in an enclosed border? I was just trimming them down so they weren't too long. Like they're still there. I just didn't want them so long they could get in the way when I'm actually enclosing the border. So that's all. That's all I'm doing there. Nothing too scary. Is that mud brick herb cottage tea? I don't know what that is, but this here is honey and water. But the Tealicious, which are not Tealicious, the T2, I'm going to top up my cup here. The T2 licorice legs. It's a licorice root tea. It doesn't taste like licorice at all, before anybody asks, which I wouldn't care anyway because I love licorice, but it doesn't taste anything like licorice. Its amazing properties are actually like for coating and healing your throat. So protecting my throat. I've got massive live stream days coming up. Leanne says, have you laid it over your bed a couple of times just to see the magnificence? Do you know what? I have not. I've not. The first time I saw it opened up and laid out was at retreat when we laid it over that couch. I have not been doing that at all. I'm just going to grab the little bag for the ends because I've been collecting them all. I actually don't know why. I just have been. So I think it's from the sheer magnitude of how many ends there are. You know, like that's a lot of ends. Anyway, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to do anything with them. I have them. That's the important thing. All right. Whew. Let's start this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just starting back from the corner a bit. I don't know what the instructions say, but that's what I'm doing. So, is it slip stitch or single? I think it's slip stitch. I don't think we need any extra stitch height in there. Oh my God, my hands are shaking. I'm like, what? That's so weird. Why are my hands shaking? Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Oh no, I destroyed that previous one. Got a bit split. You're going to be in awe, I reckon. Yeah, I think so, Leanne. I think so. Yeah, it's slip stitch. Yeah, the second I started doing it, I was like, yeah, it has to be slip stitch. So yeah, I just want to do that. There we go. So yeah, we're just slip stitching into the back loops of both sides. So it's just sealing it closed. Now I ended up choosing to go with rainbow colors on the back. Well, not rainbow, but the colors of the blanket, because I was concerned I was going to run out of the purple and not have enough to finish the front. The reality is I probably could have done a few rows of the back with the purple. Do you need to go up a hook size because the slip stitch is tighter? No, I don't think so. I might be working into this slip stitch and I'm doing it fairly loosely. Does the pattern say to? I probably should have checked that, but I'm just, yeah, because I'm just using the same hook size that I used to actually make the stitches, because this is the final row. My brain is like not working with my hands. Is it freezing for you guys? Let me just check. My computer, like, I'm going to be really honest, my computer here has been playing up a little bit, like to the point where I am looking at, like, I checked how old it is and it's time to upgrade it. So it is, I don't think it's just you guys. I think it's on this end. I'm just going to shut that to try, and I'm just going to see if I've got anything open that I can close. There's not a lot open. I don't keep much open when I'm live streaming, just to see if I can drop down. I basically have the software I need open. Lisby said it's freezing there too, decreasing to 7. So that means it's freezing on my end. If you guys drop your your frame rates and it's not changing for you, it means it's freezing on my end. So I'm very sorry about that. I'll try and keep an eye on it, but I've got everything closed except for what we absolutely have to have. So, yeah. Sorry. Knitspin Girl says, I haven't made one. I just hate for you to get halfway around and go, gah. Look, I'm going to say that based on how that's sitting, get that hook out of the way. It's actually sitting very nicely. So I'm pretty happy with that. So, yeah. But I would say that if you possibly can, because see this here, that hopefully that won't do my head in. Usually that does do my head in. I don't like it. But if you're running out of like your main color yarn, I would do your rainbows for the 2 and then try and do your main color yarn for this last one so they at least match there. That would be my one piece of advice there. Yeah. So, but yeah, the other thing I've noticed is there's like a weird smudge on this camera, except I've cleaned it. So I don't know why it's doing that either. So lots of stuff is happening on this end. Luckily, we don't need most of this stuff for the big wool show, which is good. So I can disconnect a whole pile of hardware from my laptop and just have one camera and one microphone. So yeah. Oops, what have I got there? Every now and again, I just split I've noticed it more with this hook. This is the tulip. I don't actually have a clover 4.5 mil, which but I've noticed more with this tulip. I split the yarn more, and it's annoying, to be honest. But I know lots of people love these tulip hooks, and they don't have any problems with their yarn splitting at all. So all I can put it down to is I must just be doing something a bit different, just a bit different. So what I've done is I can't actually see the YouTube side of it now. I've shut that down. So I just have what I've got here. I'll see if I can turn off the preview. That might help things as well. So yeah. There we go. That actually helped a lot. I like having a preview though. But we can't have everything that we want. Okay, so while I'm working away on this, sorry, I became so self-absorbed and self-focused on this project that I did not ask what you're working on. I know Lisby's just posted photos of a gorgeous headband she's just finished over in the Fiberific Fun Zone. But what are you working on while I sit here working on this? I'm just going to, because I want to sit here like this. So I need to move the actual camera around, and then I can do that. There we go. I'll move my mouse out of the shot. Okay. Oh, and then disable the preview. Okay. So yeah, let me know in the chat what you're working on, what projects you're doing, and are you planning on jumping into the big wool show on the weekend? Lisby says I haven't found the next thing yet. Oh. Sally says, you know my answer. Yeah, Sally's not currently working on anything. But Sally, do you have a project that you may not be working on this minute, but that you have on the go? Doesn't have to be what you're working on right this second. I'm finishing off a cute little test piece for a friend. Awesome. Bianca's still on a Stephen West speckle and pop jacket. The border seems to take forever. Russell is trying to survive a hurricane. I mean, that's pretty important there, Russell. I hope that you do make it through. I definitely want to watch the big wool show at some point this weekend. Absolutely. Now we have a playlist of all the sponsor interviews. So if you want something to listen to while you're working or while you're working on a project or something today or tomorrow, then I would highly recommend popping that on in the background. We have some fantastic conversations with some really amazing and creative people. Sally says, I've started the blur shawl last week, making on a well. Nice. Zoe says, I want to be doing some cross stitch, but I'm planning activities for my early childhood placement tomorrow. I know those feels like, oh, I want to be doing the craft, but instead I'm going to be doing the work. I'm sorry. Maybe tomorrow as a reward, you can have some cross stitch. Might lose power, winds estimate 96 Ks now, so not too bad. Ouch. That's, I mean, if all that happens is you lose power in a hurricane, I mean, you've gotten out of it pretty light, is all I can say. Come on, little Stitch, where are you? I think part of it is I really do need my other glasses for this job, but I can't see the computer screen with my other glasses. So, maybe that's the problem. I just can't see properly. I started a 4-shaft table loom class last weekend. Excited to be learning something new. That's exciting. I've got a 4-shaft table loom that I have never used. I should probably just sell it, honestly. I just don't know if I'm ever going to get to use it. I've had it for years. And it's such a nice little one too. Oh, Zoe says I'll have to check out the wool show to support my mum, who is a vendor. Oh, your mum is Heather Maid. Oh, awesome. She does beautiful yarn. Zoe, are you the one who designs all your mum's amazing stickers and badges? Because I seem to recall her saying that her daughter did it. Are you that daughter? Natalie says, I'm at the hairdresser trying to hero for the old ladies. I did finish something before I came here, though. Oh, well, that's awesome. And I think that's also hilarious. So have fun at the hairdresser. Freaky Geek is in the house. Hello, Freaky Geek. It's not in my house. It's in his house. Just for clarification. I'm the writer. My youngest sister is the artist. Oh, okay. All right. Wow. Very, very talented family. Very talented. You're in a house for sure. Yeah. I mean, you could be in an apartment, maybe not necessarily a house. You could actually be driving in your car and we wouldn't know. I was really hoping that this was going to move on a little quicker. We may not get this done. We'll see. I don't want to rush it though, because I want it to sit nicely, and it is sitting nicely. I agree with you, Freaky. Writers are artists with words. I agree. Writers build an image in your brain. Writers use the words so that your brain can paint the image. Anyway, that's what I think. Oh my gosh. Look how this is sitting. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm gonna have to change glasses. I can't see. I just can't see. And it's just a little bit up close for me. Oh wow, it's amazing what wearing the right glasses does. Goodness me. I should have just changed them. I mean, it will make it a bit trickier to read the chat just because these are the wrong reading glasses because my screen is so far away. These other ones are extended readers. They're for reading things that are 80 centimeters away from me. Whereas the ones I have on now are more your standard, pull your hands into your face kind of ones. You can always run overtime so you finish with us. I mean, that's always a possibility because we definitely do that sometimes. We definitely do that. If I'm like, towards the end of a row, I'm like, I'm just going to keep working on this. I will have to gauge how close to finished I will be by the end. Now, hopefully, I did go through everything, and as far as I can see, which, is quite funny, once these ends are encased, I think that's all the ends done because I think I went through the back and double checked and wove in all of those ends, and I've woven in all the ends on the actual border pieces that I used. So yeah. Time for multifocals. No, I don't like multifocals. I'm not a fan. I definitely like the glasses for the job. Like when I'm out in the lounge room, I don't have my glasses on to watch TV, so I do tend to just pull them down so that I can look over the top of them. I don't know what it is. I've had multifocals before, and I just got constant headaches with them. So, because my eye issues aren't just, age eye issues. I've got nerve damage to my eyes. So, that, plays different kind of havoc on things. So, like this week where I've been under these lights a lot more, I'm having to have a lot more Panadol because I don't have the pigment in my eyes, which stops light from hurting, is deteriorating. So eventually I'm going to have to live in a cave with no sunlight. I'm actually okay with that. As long as, I still got craft and the internet. I don't mind living in a cave as long as I've got craft and the internet. Who else could quite happily live in a cave as long as they had craft and internet? And, a comfy chair and a comfy bed. Like the comforts, but just a cave. Like I look at those memes that come around on Facebook, like who could live in this house for, X amount of days? And I'm like, can I take craft? I mean, I can even live without the internet for 30 days for $1 million, as long as I could take some craft. Oh yeah, Vampire could live in a cave. Bianca could live in a cave. Knitspin girls could live in a cave. Look at us cave dwellers. We need merch that just says cave dwellers. Nobody will understand what we're talking about except for us. I love that. They're my favorite kinds of things when nobody gets it except for those people. Freaky says, and a nice fire that never goes out. That would be lovely if I was in a place that was cold enough that required a fire. And that, you didn't have to go near death things to get more wood. That's the other thing. Or is it just a magical fire that doesn't require wood? See, now we're digging, right? We're making our own worlds. We're world building right now. Leanne says, I couldn't be without my multifocals, though once again, we have choices to pick what will suit us. Absolutely. I love that we have choices. I get annoyed when I don't have a choice. I love that we have options and choices, and we can all choose what suits us as individuals. Knitspin Girl says, yes, those cabins sound like heaven. Can I move in permanently? I know, right? As long as there's like internet and mail delivery, because then, I could get food delivered. I'd never even have to leave. I'm like, do you need a card? No, I don't. Can I get my food delivered? Can I get my yarn delivered? Then I don't need a car. I just stay up here in the woods. As long as there's no like murderers in the woods, I'd be okay. Lisby loves her multifocals. Angela likes her bifocals. Mostly they don't help when I have my laptop on my lap, but then I have to use my non-line bifocals. And that's the problem I have. I can't adjust between the line and the non-line. I've had multifocals before as well. I definitely prefer multifocals. There's no actual like hard line. It just sort of transitions between everything gently. Sally says, if the cave had the comforts of home, then yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. The cave has the comforts of home. It's just a cave, and it has a door, and you can, is safe and warm and comfortable. You're just in a cave rather than suburbs. Freaky, I actually quite love that. So your home is not just a box full of all your crafts; it's a cave too. I mean, this workroom, I quite often because at the moment I've got a light, lights, a light there, right? But I quite often will turn off all of the lights except for this little light here that just points down, and I will just sit here in the dark with some Netflix or Prime Video, usually Prime Video, truth be told, playing, and just chilling and crafting in the dark. And my husband comes back and he'll come in and he'll be like, the lounge room is empty. You could be on the couch. I'm like, yeah, but I'm comfy in the cave. I like to edit in the dark too. So I don't know if that's actually good for you or not, but I like to turn off all the lights when I'm editing as well. Except for the little light. Again, for some reason I like having a little light just over the top. So turn off everything. Sorry, I'll move my hands forward a little. Communication when you get tired of your own company. Yes, absolutely. I definitely need the internet for that. Because, I couldn't chat with the Fiberific Fun Zone. I may not be able to live stream, but I could totally still message and chat. It would depend on how good my internet connection in the cave was. Because I'm not sure if caves are known for their good internet connections. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. My brain is so hurting right now. It's so hurting. I've got a couple of jobs I need to get done for the Fiberific stall. So there's going to be a fiber lucky dip. I've got an entire crate of random packages of fiber, and that they will be lucky dip prices. And it's just a totally random option. So it's natural fibers. Plus, I think one of them's got some sparkles in it. So it's either like wools or silks or different sheet blends. And if I remember correctly, most things are in 50-gram bundles. So 50 grams of random fiber, could be colored. It's usually, actually, most of them are colored. So random color choices. and it's just a lucky dip, and they'll be $5 each until they're gone. And then they are not included in the sale price. They're just straight $5 each. And then because they're all worth at least double that. So, you know, got to draw the line somewhere. Then the sale price on the website will be increasing. The percentage will be increasing from 20% to another percentage, which you'll find out on the weekend. And I'm having a look around. There's some other stuff I want to double check, that numbers and things like that. So yeah. Fiber for spinning. It is fiber for spinning. Absolutely. So, yeah, it is fiber for spinning. Oh no, Sally. No, I was thinking about, like Sally saying, if we need to cut the live short today. I actually need this time with you guys to calm my thoughts and to focus on something else for a little bit. I've got the whole day tomorrow for finalizing stuff, and this afternoon. And if I get pinched for time, I might just have to miss tomorrow night's Zoom call. But I think I should be good. Look at that. The line is always drawn, either on paper or in sand. Ash and Eve Designs, welcome to the live crafting chat. Ash and Eve Designs is also a stall holder at the Big Wool Show. Francis says that I'm disappointed that most of the ads I'm seeing on Facebook for the show is yarn. Oh, that is interesting. I know that there's definitely sellers, like there's definitely dyers of both fiber and yarn in there. Oh, do you guys? I got my Beersheba order. I put in after I was chatting with Wendy doing her interview. I decided to jump in early and grab a few things. So I missed out on any sort of, to be included in like show raffles and things like that. But I just thought, you know what? I just don't want to miss out on the colors that I want. So if you guys want to see what I bought, it's just over there. I can just grab it. It's fiber for spinning. So you can totally check that out. But Fiber Art Shed has fibers. Does Cloverleaf Farms have fibers? Beersheba has fibers. Game Widow's doing bags and stitch markers. There's just a big mix. So on the weekend, just go through the different stalls and have a little look, because I know there's definitely a few fiber sellers in there. Lisby says, of course we want to see it. Are you sure you want to see it, Lisby? You might get jealous and you might, be all like, oh, I don't know. I love Beersheba fiber as well, Francis. It's very hard for me. I bought 3 and it was very hard for me to keep it to just 3. And even then I felt a little guilty. I was just like, oh, now I'm going to go and spend all this money at the Big Wool Show as well. Maybe I'm going to try and be a little bit good, because now I have to buy a new computer. Otherwise the live streams have to stop. And I don't want that to happen. So, it was, how do I put this? I knew it was coming. I was planning on getting one later in the, later, like in 4 months or something like that. So my plan has just been pulled forward. That's all. And so, yeah. So, and I probably could have gone out and gotten it sorted this week, but I also didn't want to be having to test and adjust stuff for an event like the Big Wool Show, if that makes sense. So I do have a little backup laptop that will be enough for the Big Wool Show if this one crashes and burns. I always have backups of everything. So I have extra microphones, I have extra cameras, I have extra cords and cables. But as this one's dying, then I won't have a backup anymore. And my backup is not as good as this one. So it can't handle as much stuff. It doesn't have the same sort of processing power, but it can totally do it. Game Widow says most of my Bendigo budget went to Beersheba fiber. I don't blame you. I don't want to be using unfamiliar equipment. Yeah, absolutely. Like when I'm like, this is going to be like, I will still be using all the same software. So that's lucky, but it is unfamiliar equipment. So luckily, what I'm planning on buying will connect into all of my existing peripherals, because all of the upgrades I've been doing over the last sort of 8 months, I've been buying with a plan in mind. So everything can be connected to both, which is good. But yeah, it just, you know, you have a plan and something becomes a little thorn in the side and you have to change your plan. So that's all I've had to do here. All right, I'm going to have a little break from this. I'm just going to lean over and grab my fibers. Are you ready? I'm just going to go with this camera. That's my hat, or you can't have it. Ugh, okay. All righty. So we have Great Southern Ocean. These are 100% Castledale, 100 grams, and they were $18 each. And just like, oh, hello, tape. Oh, I know what that was from. That was from my new fan. I have a new fan as well. Thanks to Barb for enabling me on that one. It is the loftiest, most beautiful fiber to spin, honestly. So this is Great Southern Ocean. Then we have Violets, which again, just so much beautiful. And I like blues and purples when I'm spinning. I got a thing. And this was the one that made me buy it when I was buying it. It's called Robin's Gift. And I was just like, I must have this. And then it was like, oh, and while I'm there, I will also have this and this. So they just, I can't even tell you how amazing they feel. They're so light and just like that's the end of it there. You know, like that's just waiting to, like, that's drafting and just, it's just waiting to be spun. It would be amazing. So I highly recommend Beersheba. I'm just grabbing the pattern for the blanket that I'm going to make as well. I don't know if I told you guys about this. No, I wouldn't have, because I picked up the kit last night. That's the Thursday night. So I'm also making this fireside blanket. So I have the kit from Attic 24, and the colors in that are just beautiful. That's going to be an acrylic, another acrylic blanket, but it's a knee rug, throw rug size. So yeah, yeah, the Castledale is just, it's one of my favorite fibers to spin. Like, I like merino, don't get me wrong, but I definitely prefer like a Corriedale or something with a little bit more characteristic to it that is a little bit more hard wearing, because when I make something, I'm a little, I don't know how to describe, I'm a little rough on things. Like, I'll be really honest. I'm a little rough on things. And so merino really needs gentle and care. Like, if you're buying a merino superwash, that's a whole different story. But if you're buying merino fibers to spin, gentle and care, or the merino can felt in your hand. Like, you don't even get a chance to spin it. Do you need a real fire to make the blanket? I hope not, because it's summer and I'd rather not. Well, it's not summer yet, but it's getting warmer and I'd rather not, if that's all the same. Is it summer? November? Is November summer? I don't even know. Do you know what? I don't even know the answer to that question. Or is December summer? September is spring. October, November. No, November is still spring. Okay, it's not summer yet. All right, everybody. December is summer. Okay, thanks, guys. Bianca says that I bought some merino yarn and it felted while knitting. Yeah. I mean, and pure merino, like not superwash, no nylon, you have to be a bit more careful with it. It's just the reality of it. But we have some amazing sheep breeds in Australia that aren't merino, I think Castledale is a merino cross. I can never remember. Wendy always tells me in the interviews and I always forget. So watch Wendy Beer's interview that we've done over on the Big Wool Show, and she talks about how she decided to create the Castledale breed, and how she's been perfecting that. Leanne has popped in the link. Thank you, Leanne. I've just started working my way through a breed study. So interesting to feel all the different sheepies. Yeah, like that's the thing. Even in Australia, like everyone thinks Australia only has merino. That's a hard no. That's a hard no. That's not true. Australia has a lot of merino, as merino was developed in Australia, but we have a lot of other breeds here, and some of them are just unbelievable. Like I learned to spin using Corriedale Cross, which I love. So I've got a soft spot for Corriedale Cross. But I've spun Gotland, I've spun Border Leicester, one with really long curls. I can't remember what it's called. I've spun quite a few different ones. Not tons, but quite like enough to know that they're like all wool is not created equal. It's that simple. If you're like, I don't like wearing wool, it's itchy. It's like, okay, are you allergic to all wool, or did you just get a dodgy wool? Because there's dodgy wools. I thought my issue was wool. No, my issue was scratchy wool, which is different. So, yeah. It's another one of those things where we get to have choices. And like if I'm making socks or something like that, I don't want merino. I want something else. I want something with a bit of, strength to it. But I still want it to be soft enough for my little delicate feet that are big whingers. And so, blending a bit of Gotland with a bit of something else to make the strength of the Gotland and the softness of whatever the other thing is, like that works. Freaky says, that's a good question. I found out recently I'm not allergic to all wools, but now I have to figure out the breeds I can't touch. That will totally change your world once you know what it is you can and can't play with, because it will open up things for you. It'll make it so like, oh yeah, like for me, I found out it wasn't all fleeces I couldn't use, it was alpaca. So while it's restricting on the alpaca front, it actually meant that I could start spinning other wool again. So, it opened that back up, which I thought was just, I was pretty dang happy, let me tell you. Leanne is off. By Leanne, have an awesome appointment. There we go. Come on, little thing. In you go. Are you going to change? Oh gosh, thank you, Sally. Yes. Yes is the answer. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Such a pro. Please join my course where I teach you how to live stream, she says on the wrong camera angle. So funny. So funny. Told you my brain's in a weird space today. Is the face cam on the blink? I don't believe so. I don't think I'm moving my head too much, which might make it look like it's freezing. But we'll see. We'll see. You guys can let me know. I am having, since I shut down the other things on my computer, everything's running better. So we'll see. Which chemicals are used to scour the fleece? Absolutely. And what kind of dyes are they using? And, my biggest issue is hand dyers like to wash their hand dyed yarn in something pretty smelling afterwards to get rid of the citric acid smell. And that does me. I have to rewash all the yarn with gloves on and masks on because I can't be anywhere near half of those smells. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But that's just me. Whereas I know some people love it when they open up their package and they get a big like face full of, florally scent of floral. Whereas I open up and go, oof. I think that was that was Freaky's way of saying drop the camera. Okay. Sorry, Freaky. I didn't quite understand. But we're good now, right? We're all okay? Oh, wow. So tomorrow I have to get my car serviced. That's exciting. But I will sit there quietly at the service center that has all little tables and chairs and a coffee shop. And I'll work on my stuff quietly while I wait for my car to get done. Somewhere that's not my house, which is really different for me. I don't normally leave the house very often. The studio is in the house. All of my work is done here. And my post office is next to where I do my grocery shopping. So I don't venture further afield very often. Caffeinated Crafters is probably like the big, like, okay, it's time to go to Caffeinated Crafters. We can do this. Yeah. Francis says, that reminds me I need to buy the wool wash when I do the shopping this week. Add it to your shopping list. I use Keep for my shopping list, and we keep we have it like, and while that's a Google product, my daughter who is on iPhone can access it as well. And we have a group family shopping list. So we put anything on the list, and as you shop, you tick it off. And then if someone goes past the shop, they can just double check the list to see if there's anything that's needed. And sometimes my husband will just send me a quick message like, hey, I'm stopping in. Do you want to add anything else to this shopping list? And I'll be like, yes, hang on, quick. Let me just do that. I run into the kitchen, double check and do that. But yeah, it's great and it's free. Good morning. Has anyone else found the smell of Tantec not nice or don't like the scent after scouring fleece? Look, fiber scours in general don't smell nice. I don't like any of them, truth be told. So because of the kinds of like what it's got to do. So I actually found the Tantec a lot better, a lot less stenchy than some of the others. But I just think it's nature of fiber scours. Lisby uses our groceries. Bianca uses our groceries. Yep. Yeah, it's oh yeah, Game Widows is just mentioning back a little bit about what we were talking about before, about also if mills and stuff are processing Angora and alpaca on the same equipment. So I find that with a lot of mini mills that process alpaca, I can't buy my wool products from them either because they quite often end up with a little bit of alpaca in the wool. Not enough that they have to declare it, but enough that it sets off my allergies. Hang on, I've just got this is very big blanket and my shoulder is very sore and not very strong. So moving it around is not awesome. Knit Spin Girls, yes. This is what I was doing, which is why I had to put it in an app on my phone. I like to play the game where I write a shopping list and then leave the list at home and then I have to try and remember what was on it. The unicorn scarrow smells okay but isn't cheap. Yes, the unicorn scarrow was worse for me, which is why I went hunting for something else in the first place, because it just about set off an asthma attack. I just use the old-fashioned pen and paper on the fridge for our shopping list from Vampire. Yeah, I would just leave them at home. That was the problem. And then, if my husband was going to the shops, he wouldn't grab the shopping list. And now that Abby works at the grocery store as her part-time job, and so when she finishes her shift, if the store's still open, she just nicks around and grabs all our stuff for us. So I found that if I keep a digital list, I have to do less of the shopping. Judith loves unicorn. There you go. We all have choices. Again, the theme of today's live stream is about how we all have choices and we can use different things and different things suit different people. And just because you don't like something doesn't mean someone else doesn't like it as well. They might love it. Because we're all very different humans. Mount shopping list is detailed with store and aisle numbers so I can get in and out. Oh, my shopping list, in and out quickly. Abby, when Abby's doing the shopping, she actually does that. She'll go through and be all fish, like, make it super fast. But me, I know where the things are, so I just throw them on the list. I do try to put my list in order of how I travel, if that makes sense. Like I walk in the door And there's the fruit and veggie section, so I try and put all my fruit and veggie first. And then there's the bakery section, so I try and put anything that I don't normally get much in there, but anything I'm going to get, aisle 1, aisle 2, you know the deal. You know the drill. I try very hard to put it in the order. Doesn't always work though. Huh. I've got a few extras coming up, so I've got to spread them out a little so I can get to the corner evenly. So what have we got here? So that's 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry, I'm just going to focus on this for just a little second, just to make sure I get it right. Hang on, I did that wrong, but I'm in the corner now, so I'm okay. All right. It must be hard buying wool with an alpaca allergy. Yes, it can be. It just depends on where I get it from. Most commercial yarns, they're pretty good with it. Most of the hand dyers, because of where they get their hand dyed yarns from, they're mostly pretty good. It's normally if I am just buying from like a mini mill that process their own fibers into their own yarns. So for the most part, I'm okay. Hang on. Where have I got to go? Into that one. Did I miss one? No, I didn't. There we go. Okay. I use the Notes app on the iPhone. Yep. Some days it's hard to think well for me at least. Can't speak for you. Yeah. Sally says, I have a hubby who owns a small supermarket, so I just text him. I mean, that's awesome. Husband works across the road from the supermarket. A text message before he leaves work usually occurs. Look, I'm all for that, because if they're already out and about, why not? My husband has to drive past a Woolies just before he gets home. So I'm like, hey, can you stop in? And he'll be like, you've had all day. Why couldn't you do it then? I'm like, I've been doing other stuff, and you're going to drive past a store instead of me actually making a special journey to a store. What's more economical? That's how I have to talk with him. What's economical? He's an accountant. We did turn a corner, everybody. Let me just look at this. We have a corner turn. The corner is done. We've done one edge in an hour, and it's the short edge. This is not going to get done today, I don't think. Oh, I'm sad. I was kind of hoping to get it all done on camera. Does that mean that I have a question? If we don't get it all done today, do I have to wait until next week to work on it, or can I just finish it and post photos? Because I don't know how I'm going to go waiting a whole other week to finish it, knowing it's so close to being done. Mind you, we did talk about other stuff for the first part of the live stream as well. I speak his language. Yes, I do. I had to learn it. Lurking just for the last hour or so. Hope everybody is happy. We are happy. We're all getting ready for the big wool show. Well, I am anyway. I'm getting ready for the big wool show, and I'm excited about it. I have to finish on camera. Okay. All right. Look, you know what? I had a feeling that was going to be the answer, because this has been such a labor of love, and you guys have watched nearly every stitch get made. Not quite every stitch, but nearly every stitch. So it seems only right that you get to watch the last stitch be made. And I was kind of hoping that we could do that today. So we'll just have to see how we go. So if I focus on my hands a little more, then it might happen. It may not. I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer. And you know what? This edge has got like where I'm tucking in all the ends from the side because I'm on a side edge. And it's actually really easy. I was expecting it to be a bit more fiddly, but it's really not. I feel like it's been a group effort. I agree with you, Holly. I definitely feel I can honestly say that without the group, this blanket wouldn't have gotten finished. I would have quit. I would have just been like, nope, it's too hard. It's too much. I'm an idiot for choosing such a giant project. And I would have frogged it and restarted it on a much smaller scale. And I'm so happy that I haven't, that you guys have encouraged me and allowed me to keep working on the same project week after week after week after week after week after week with very few inter breaks. So much progress in the few weeks. It's yes. So last week we finished the last of the mosaic stitches, and I've had to be forcing myself away from my computer to give my eyes a break, and so I've left this out in the lounge room, so I've been working on it and getting it done. But yeah, we're on to the closing of the border. In you go, little thing. But yeah, I definitely think that this is faster than the single crochet stitches. So, I mean, I did a row of single crochet of the double crochets, I should say, or the in an hour. So I don't know why I wouldn't be able to do, the rest of this in an hour or so. Also, all the ends are woven in, I think. There might be one or two that I missed, but the majority of the ends are definitely in. Of the ends that get woven in, I should specify. So when I was changing colors or something, I'd run out at the end of a ball and I'd have to change colors in the body. What if you do all but the last side? Yeah. So what I might do is if we do run out of time, I will continue to work on it over the week and then get towards the end of, where we're at. And I'll make sure that there's, a bit of time for us to work on it. And then we have to start thinking about the next project. So I was thinking I was going to do a knit a blanket. I've got Bendigo cotton ready for a knitted project. But I'm just not super sold on the patterns I've seen. What I was thinking of actually doing, which you guys could help me with this thought process. Sorry, I've just got to bring up some more blanket. Here, look, I'll just show you what it's looking like over here. It's just like this big, like heavy, like lump. So my thought process is I have a million stitch dictionaries, and what I could possibly do is find a few a few patterns and make a couple of squares. I don't want too many, and just alternate them through a blanket. But I was going to try and do something like a little bit color worky, but the back side of the blanket just looked terrible on the swatch that I did. It looked beautiful on the front side. So the colors that I have definitely work for that, but the back just looked dreadful. And it, had floats and things like that. So I'm thinking maybe grab a stitch dictionary, choose a few sort of lace square patterns, if that makes sense. Or textured stitches, like a couple of lacy ones, not too crazy lace, but just a little bit lacy, and a couple of textured stitches, and go from there. Bianca says, we'll think we were in the wrong live chat if you're working on something else. I mean, I'm definitely not starting another queen anytime soon, let me tell you. I'm definitely keen to do more mosaic crochet. Like I'm not put off that, but I think I'd like to try a different pattern because this is my very first mosaic crochet. And I did have a little break in the middle and made my mosaic crochet pencil case. this one here, which I had a blast doing, and I use it all the time now. So, yeah, I want some more, mosaic crochet patterns. Big learning curve. Use 2 different age needles for straining colorwork sleeves. Too difficult doing 2 at a time with 4 balls. Old needles slightly bigger than the modern, different tension. Absolutely, and that will always happen. And also, if you're knitting one with bamboo and one with stainless steel, that will be different as well. And yeah, so many different things can change the tension of your yarn. Definitely a good idea if you're going to do 2 at a time to have matching needles. Freaky says that you could roll some dice and pick something from pages in the book. That's always a possibility. I'll have to have a look at which books I want to use, because I've got my Harmony Stitch guides, but I've also got this one that I love. I've actually got like a couple that I really love other than the Harmony Stitch guides. I think they might be in my book list on Amazon, of the different stitch guides and stuff that I have. I'm not sure if the harmonies are in there, actually, now that I think about it. I think the others are. And speaking about all the different wool breeds, I've got a fiber source book that is just phenomenal for you to learn about a whole pile of the different fiber, different sheep breeds. Which, if you want to get your hands on that, Amazon will send it to you as well, and that's in my book list on Amazon. In my description here of this video, I have a link. So if you click the show more, there's a link in there for knit picks. If you are on the hunt from anything from knit picks for the next few days, keep checking. They're having a rolling series of sales. Every day is a different sale for, I think it's about a week or thereabouts. There's some really great buys. So just click on that link that's in the description below, and you can check that out as well. There's some really good things happening around. Yeah, because knit picks, they quite often sell out of their stuff. Like they have like end of season sales and things, and you get some serious bargains. I think I saw one day that ball winders were $10 US and things like that. All sorts of good things. Sally's popped the link in the chat. Thank you, Sally. Carries down the rabbit hole says, I thought I'd missed you. No, time zones have changed, and I didn't update it in my description, which I'll have to fix. Yeah, we'll have to sort that out. Holly says, I'm no longer driving and I can actually work on my own double border. Fantastic. Where are you up to in yours, Holly? Check out Rosina Plain for mosaic. I'll have to, can you send me that as a message so I remember, Kathy? Because I definitely want to have a look. The Fleece and Fiber Source book is awesome. I like the Spinner's book of fleece too. Lots of great info on breeds, as well as how to use carders and wash fleeces. Yes, look, good books, good resources. I am obsessed with. I love having good resources. I like learning information, and like, because I wasn't born into this industry. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't raised on a farm. I don't understand a lot of that side of things, but as an end user, I think it's really important to understand the fibers that we're using, and the fibers make the yarns, so you have to understand them all. Molly says, I got different tension by using needles of different lengths. I start off with 5-inch stainless, then the next sleeve I tried a 4-inch stainless, the same needle size. Second sleeve was much larger. Wow. Okay. Yeah, and so many different things can change our tension. It's that's why I always have, like, look, you know what? I always have a little bit of a giggle or a smirk, or obviously very disrespectful, but the way some people react to it. When people tell me they have perfect tension and they don't need to swatch for any pattern ever. And I'm just like, really? Because that's crap. You can have perfect tension stitches, but it doesn't mean you're going to have the perfect gauge for that designer, because every designer is different. And it's going to depend on your needles, on your yarn, on if you're relaxed, if you're tense. Do you know what I mean? Like, you may create even stitches, as in that kind of tension, but you can't get perfect gauge every time without doing a gauge swatch. Even the same designer, if they're using a different yarn. Like, I know that's a controversial thing, but it's just one of those things that I just call BS on every time. Carrie says, oh, what's happened to my webcam here? It's definitely changed colors. It's making me blue. Don't be blue. What have I done? Oh, it's because I've moved into this color section. Hang on, we'll get through it. Because when we did the yellow, remember how much problem we had with my skin being blue in the yellow sections. Recommend a yarn ball spinner when knitting with 1+ balls on sale. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I like the Knit Picks ones. I've used them. I've never used the ones from Spotlight, so I can't recommend them. I really do only recommend things I've used. Yeah, agreed, Bianca. That's impossible. Even, and Game is right, even mood can affect your gauge. Yes. I remember when I very first started knitting, more so than crochet, I noticed it. Was I had a friend who was just like, you need to have a different project for when you first get home from work. And I was like, why? I'm never going to get this finished. A sobriety level. Yeah, that'll do it. But basically, when you get home, like when I was getting home from work, I was a little bit stressed, a little bit on edge. You know, like, I'm not a big fan of public transport, and I used to have to catch 2 trains and a bus. And so I'd always come home from work just a little bit on edge, even if I'd had a good day at work. And yeah, so they were like, you've got to have a separate project for that, because if you work on your knitted jumper that you work on when you're chill and relaxed on the weekend, you're going to see a visible line. And they were right. There's a visible line of the differences between when I'm stressed versus when I'm calm versus, you know, like everything. And we put so much work and effort into these things. Why not, you know, give it a bit of thought? Nettie, welcome to the chat. Yes, Sue Singleton, stress can totally affect your gauge and your tension, for sure. I've got to get past this orangey section, and then my skin will be less blue, everybody. It's just because the camera gets all the yellow pushed into it, and it's trying to adjust it to make it less yellow. But and then the yellow's fluoro, which is hilarious. But yeah, it'll balance it out. I probably should have set it on manual rather than auto. Oh, there's a tail. Get on the inside. I don't know if they've been woven in. Hang on a second. Okay, that's not a tail. These are tails. They have not been woven in. Woo! Lucky. I had to change color at the end of a row. That was like the one that I just didn't quite make it. Hang on. I'll just give them a little pokey. Jiggery pokery. There we go. I know. I don't weave my ends in the same way as everybody else does. I do understand that I do it differently. It's all good. It's fine. My ends don't seem to come out, so that's the important thing. And also, it's about to be, you know, enclosed. But I still like to go a few directions. There we go. Trim that down. Throw that over there. Put the chibi away so I don't lose it. Good morning. Manang, how are you going? It's good to see you here. Alrighty, let's go back to what we were doing before we realized we had an unwoven in tail. Kathy sent some links. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a Smurf right now because I did not change my color to manual. And then as I've moved into this yellow section of the blanket, the camera is just like, yellow. Everything's too warm. Let's make it cool. So once we get past that, we'll be okay. I promise. I'm making a mosaic blanket. It's nearly finished. It is Tina from Iceland, whose name I can't pronounce, her queen cow, which is the most beautiful blanket. I've been working on it forever, and we're nearly done, and I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. I don't even know what to say, but we're getting there. Your arms are the same color as my legs. My arms aren't actually this color. Like, I'm pretty pale, but I'm not quite blue pale. I'm a little yellow pale, which is probably why it's sending my arms blue while I'm doing this yellow section. So let's get through the yellow section lickety split. There we go. A bit more in the middle. Wonder if I could just, where's the end of the blanket? Just flip it up. Cover the yellow. I mean, I'm still a little blue, but I do need some of the yellow out because I've got to work on it. We'll just have to bear with it. We know what's causing it. We know it's not a problem, but I do look quite unwell. There we go. Keep going. Just keep stitching. Just keep stitching. 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 Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just looking at the computer here. It's using a bit of power. It's all right. It's coping. But it is, you know, they don't last forever. And unfortunately, the computer is just as important for live streaming as the camera is. So that is a task and a half. Oh, there we go. Do we have a mod in the house who can deal with that? Unless you already have, because I'm not in YouTube, so I can't see if it's already gone. Because it comes through StreamYard and doesn't disappear when it's modded. And because I was reducing the strain on my computer, I don't have YouTube open to check. So somebody can let me know in the chat if those spammy comments are gone. Done. Thank you, Sally Champion. Appreciate that. Because unfortunately, I did have to shut down the YouTube side, which is where I get to see what's happening on that end. Jai Good, welcome to the chat. It's so good to see you. Just working on the final row of the queen. It is the final step. Well, I mean, I'll have to weave in an end, but after I weave in that end, that's it. Once I, finish encasing all these other ends so I don't have to weave them in. All right. That's just in the way. It's making it too difficult. Okay. Just poke down all the little ends. Yeah, so having a mod in your live stream is awesome. And we have an amazing team of moderators who look after us here at Fiberific. Got Sally and a couple of others. I'm not sure who else is in with Sally today. Because we do live stream during a workday, some of the other mods can't make it. Freaky says, and my chat froze, so I had to refresh. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Freaky. I'm sorry to hear that. I keep whacking the microphone with my hook. I'm just going to move my hands so that it's a bit further away. We are going to get there. Actually, I'm like looking at the time. We're not going to get there. We're not going to make it. Today is not the day. I'm sad, but we will get as close as possible. How's that sound? I keep bringing it too close to my face. The mic must be bad because you're whacking it. Yes, it's a naughty mic. I'm so happy the mic can't pick up this new fan. I mean, I know you guys never said that you couldn't hear the other one, but this one's quieter for me as well. So I can hear it, but it's not like distracting. It's just a noise. And it means that I get to have a good fan in here. So massive thank you to our friend Barb, who told me all about the fan that she'd bought. And then I went and bought basically the exact same one, except I think mine's a dash shorter just because I couldn't get the taller one in my local store. Looks like Josephine's lurking. Oh, Josephine. She's sneaky watching at work is what she's doing. So, yeah. Sneaky. It's all good. Yeah. We're getting there though. Oh, did I split that? I did. I've split that stitch. So let's fix that. And keep going. Go in there, your little ends. When I trimmed down those ends last week, I made a little video. Who in the chat saw my little short video that I made of cutting the ends down? That little video, I jokingly sent a message to Claire, like, hey, Claire, I made a short. And she was like, oh, how's it going? And I was like, going to, put in what it was at. I'm confused. What are you doing? I am. I'm joining the front and the back section of the enclosed border. So I am doing a join to join them. And then all the ends get sandwiched in the middle. But yeah, so I said to Claire, I've done a short. And she was like, that's awesome. How many views has it got? So I opened it up, have a look. And in the 20 minutes since I'd posted it, it had like 1,600 views. I'm like, oh my God, 1,600 views. And then, 10 minutes later, it was at 2,200 views. And I was just like, holy crap, Paul, this is insane. It's pretty well dead in the water now. Shorts are quite short-lived, but I think it's gotten up to like 2.8 or 2.9K views. So I was just like, whoa. Joy Good says, big weekend coming up. Thanks for everything you've done. It is a huge weekend and I'm very much looking forward to it, but I'm also looking forward to Monday. I'm really looking forward to the live streams, but I'm having the day off on Monday. I've planned it into my calendar so that I can actually have a break, because my voice will need it. I don't doubt that for one single second. My voice will need a break. Speaking of which, I shall have some of my tea too. Freaky, I actually believe I was. Yes. I'm not 100% certain, but I think so. So, yeah. That's incredible. Thank you, Dolores. I'm not quite sure what's incredible, but I'm going to say thank you. Tina comes up with some really clever ideas. I don't know if Tina invented the whole enclosed border. I don't know if we ever really invent anything, but I think she's definitely repopularized it if it had already been a thing. And I love it. I'm like, oh, any other blankets where I've got 1 million ends, can I do this on? And the answer is yes, you can. Any blanket that has 1 million ends, you can create. And I love the look that you get. Like I chose yellow, but you could choose the purple. So, because I wanted that framing, I wanted the sort of yellow framing around everything. So that was a conscious decision. So yeah, it's definitely an option, but like you don't have to. I could have totally done that in purple so that it blended in more. Like it's your call because it's your project. Sally is saying, if you are lurking, liking today's live, why not give it a thumbs up? Thank you, Sal. Yeah, Claire did share my short. I think she shared it when I was already at about 2K views. So yeah. Oh yes, I was referring to the amount of views for trimming it. I know, right? Like seriously. It was because all I did was, like if you've watched it, you just saw all I did was the snip, snip, snip. But I mean, the other thing is, it's only like 10 seconds of your life. And if you're on the short shelf, it could be counted as a view and it's nearly over. Do you know what I mean? Like how short count things is different. Like YouTube, you don't get counted as a view for 10 seconds. If you bounce out of someone's video in 10 seconds, it's actually bad. Freaky says everything is incredible. The blanket is getting done. The short had many views, and the upcoming live. Yeah, it's not Bendigo. It's the Big Wool Show. But yes, that's the Big Wool Show. It's this amazing event. I'm so looking forward to it. The live chat is a buzz. So make sure if you can get in and hang out and have a look. We're doing giveaways. We're having chats with people. There's panels around the middle sessions where we've got one panel of all like fiber producers and mills, and then we're going to have another panel on Sunday. And it's just a lot of amazing stuff, and we just try to change it up and keep it interesting and keep it fun. But yeah, and if you're not subscribed over on the Big Wool Show channel, go and subscribe to that. Also, if you're not subscribed here, I'd really appreciate you clicking subscribe. I think most of you are who are in the live chat. But I would really appreciate that. I have my one time, like I have one YouTube goal for subscribers, right? And I've had the same goal since day one. And my one goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've never wanted to hit the 100,000 or anything like that. I just would love to hit the 10,000. And based on the views I get on some of my videos, I think that it could be done. And I know that other channels totally have surpassed that. Like, look at Claire with her nearly 500,000. So I would just love to get to that 10,000. And I don't think I've shared that with you guys for a while. So I thought I'd mention it. Because I don't normally talk about hitting the subscribe button. I do normally talk about chatting and hitting the like and things like that. But, sometimes it's just nice to see that subscriber number grow as well. Makes you feel good. That's all it is. Nettie's 123 stitch markers arrived yesterday. That is awesome. I'm glad you got them in time. They are cute. They're so helpful. Nettie purchased the 1234 stitch markers off my website, and it was because I was working on a pattern that was written for double pointeds, but I'm not a big fan of double pointed, so I was using a fixed circular. But they kept describing things as do this on needle 1, do this on needle 2. So I set up my 1, 2, 3, 4 markers, and I put them in the place where I would normally insert a different needle, so that I could easily, without having to work it out in my brain because that's unreliable, go in and just make the change, like just to, do this to the end of needle 2. Bam. It was easy. Made it easy. Sally's popped in the link for the Big Wool Show. Thank you. Freaky says I may have to unsubscribe to make sure I'm subscribed. Okay, don't scare me like that, but okay. Yeah. Where are we at? We're getting close to the end of this side, but this is only the second side of 4. So I don't know how we're going to go. We might get most of the third side done and then have to wait until next week. But I might lay it on my bed and take some photos in the meantime with a big ball of yarn attached to it. Ash and Eve Designs is excited for the weekend. It's going to be so much fun. It really is. And you last year you had a lot of fun as well. It was a good weekend for you. So I can imagine it will be a good weekend again. Looking forward to watching all the lives. That's the thing, isn't it? We were talking about that in in the interview I did with Katrina Kellett from Pirate Bay Yarns. We were talking about how a lot of us stall holders, we have this, mass energy of push, push, push to get to an event. Then you've got to get to the event and unpack your stuff. And then you've got to people all weekend. And then you've got to pack up and then come home and you're just absolutely shattered. Whereas with the big wool show, you've still got to do your big push, push, push to get all your stock ready. But you also get to sit back and enjoy the event. And, you can sit there with your pajamas on watching the live streams and just having a good time until it's time to pack the orders and ship them out at your leisure. Jen Deal, thank you. Thank you. I'm pretty excited, truth be told. I'm actually overexcited. I think that's why this week I was able to get so much done, and last week as well, because I'm just so close to the end. I can taste it. It's just one of those things. Get in there. What days are they on this year? The Big Wool Show is on Saturday and Sunday. We're just keeping it to Saturday and Sunday now. We tried out doing the long weekends, but it just doesn't work. Don't be nervous, the Game Widows. You've totally got this, Game Widows. It's going to be fun. Ash and Eve said I was absolutely shattered last year. Really? Just because of your lead up, or because of the whole weekend, or because it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster too, isn't it? Game Widows, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be just fine. And I'm seeing that the live stream weekend plan is coming into focus. Lots of people are getting their appointment times set up, and it's going to be fun. Oh, you were dying as the orders were coming in. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I understand. Wow. People really showed up. Like, as in people turned up at your house, or people showed up to the event and bought stuff? Angela says, since I'm in the US, I need to make sure I'm up when the show starts. Okay, so it is starting at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Okay, so this live stream started at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern. No, started at 11 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So it's starting an hour earlier than this one usually starts on Saturday and Sunday. Oh, no, online. They showed up online. Oh, good. I'm glad no one just rocked up to your house, because that would be terrifying. I want to experience the event at your house. Oh my gosh. I can see people doing that. But that's the other thing you could do if you wanted. You could get a little group of your favorite crafty people and put it on the TV, and everyone have their phones and join in the chat, but also chat to each other and swoon over the things. And that could also be a fun thing to do. Have like watch parties. That's actually a great idea. I think you should totally be having watch parties. I've got a collection of old pattern books, and there's a pattern for a baby blanket that has an enclosed border, but of course I can't find it now. Oh my gosh. Russell, the answer is yes, all the time. And even with taking photos and uploading them to websites and everything, it always happens. You always have to take yarn colors with a grain of salt. Like right now, I'm not sure if you were here when we were talking about it, because I've got so much yellow on the screen, it's bluing out my webcam because I forgot to turn off the auto color correct, or auto white balance, I should say. But because I've been working on a different part of the blanket for so long, I forgot about what it does when it's with this massive yellow section. So yeah, it happens all the time. It's the bane of online yarn store, like yarn dyes, is getting the colors as close as possible, because also they may look nearly identical to the yarn that you're holding in your hand to your screen, but it depends on the screen the person on the other end has as well. So many different options, especially when color is so important. I would definitely be double checking anything on like a modern mobile. That will be the closest to whatever color they've gotten. But in saying that, they may also be bad photo editors, and their photos may not be true to color, which can sometimes happen as well. But that's the game. It's the name of the game with yarn. It's just the name of the game. Yeah, it'll be an all-nighter for those of you that are not in Australia. So starts at, okay, so if mine started at 4 p.m. PT, then this will start at 3 p.m. PT and run for 6 hours. So it's not an all-nighter as such, I think. I've seen how different each TV is when they have them working in a store. Oh, absolutely. Everything can be totally different. And that's why, like, if you look at most yarn dyers websites, they'll actually write something about, every effort has been made to get the photo as close as possible, but allow for difference in viewing technology, and like, it's just the nature of the beast. It starts at 10 a.m. Australian Daylight Savings Time. So 10 a.m. Sydney, Melbourne, 9 a.m. Brisbane, 9:30 Adelaide. I don't know any of the other time zones off the top of my head. It's an early start for me for a live, because I don't normally start lives till 10 my time. Oh, sorry. Hands are off the shot. You guys never said. If you go and check out, like, they're already scheduled on YouTube. So if you go and check out like Saturday's live stream, it'll actually tell you what it is in your local time. So you don't even have to do the math. You can just go and jump over and have a look, and it will tell you your local time. Jai says, photos are a big time-consuming part of a long process. Yes, they are. Absolutely. And you've got to get them right, or you've got to get them as right as you can, because that's how people decide if they're going to buy your yarn or not. And it can be a little frustrating. I used to have some of my colors that were just so hard to photograph. They're just like a nightmare. Oh, I'm doing back loop. Did I do a back loop of that one? I did. Good. Automatic process. And my brain was just like, do you have the right one there? Okay, we're at another corner, you guys. We've made another corner. It is the one same live stream all day. It's one live stream that just goes all day. Yeah. So there's one for Saturday, one for Sunday, and then as we get closer to, we'll start releasing out the schedule. Some of your favorite creators have already started sharing out their schedule time. Just keep an eye on those time zones. Yeah, there's definitely a blurry mark on my camera. I did drop it, so I'm hoping I haven't wrecked it. But I did clean it too, so there's no fingerprints or anything on it. I don't think. I can't see any. I got in there pretty good with the cleaner. But anyway, we'll see. Halfway. Yeah, that's a halfway point. We've done half of the border. I'm just trying to get it to rebalance its colors. There we go. That's a bit better. My hand's not quite so blue. Oh, what have I done there? I split a stitch. All right. Let's see how far we can get in the next 15 minutes. We've only got 15 minutes to go. How fast has this live stream gone? Has this been a boring live stream for you all? I'm very sorry if it has. Here in Wisconsin, the Big Wool Show will be at 5 p.m. Standard Time on the 11th of the 11th and on the 12th of the 11th. Thank you, Kathy, for clarifying that into the US, some sort of US terminology for everybody else, because I know not everybody here is Australian. So that's, yeah. So it's Saturday and Sunday my time, but it's Friday and Saturday in the US. And yeah, not boring at all. Excellent. Excellent. What's 105 minutes? Sally, just out of curiosity. Definitely not boring. Thank you. I appreciate you guys letting me know, because I would hate for it to be boring. I mean, I'm having a great time. I'm like my blood pressure's up. I'm trying to race to the next corner. Like, it's not boring for me. Oh, I've been streaming for 147 minutes so far. According to the clock I've got here that tells me how long I've been streaming for. There we go. I like working the purple and the red together. They look good. I've got another blanket that I actually started years ago that went into the naughty corner because it was like these big, beautiful motifs. And I made all of those. But then there was all these little like triangular motifs and they just suck. So I've got to come up with an alternative so that I can put this blanket together without making those stupid triangular motifs, because I hate them and I don't want to make them. So yeah. Or even just making them all in one color instead of multiple colors, because that's the other option. But it was what was it called? Stars and Flowers? I think Stars and Flowers, something like that. Oh, Josephine says an hour and 47 minutes is, sorry, Sally. Oh my gosh, my brain tried to tell me that an hour was 100 minutes. And that's not, it's 60. Thanks, Josephine and Sally. Don't forget to pause at 11 a.m. for a minute silence on Saturday for Remembrance Day. Well, I mean, like, which minute? Is it my 11 a.m. or is it Melbourne's 11 a.m. or who's 11 a.m.? Because that's the problem. The 11 a.m. for me is different than most of the guests as well. So, yeah, that's going to be an issue. Yep, Sally, not you being, not Stars and Stripes. No, it was like flowers and something. Flowers and I don't know. I'll have to look. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Frances solved the problem. She's reminded us that Remembrance Day is actually tomorrow, not Saturday. So awesome. Oh my gosh. I didn't even think of that. I'm like looking at the time, which is right next to next to the date, and it didn't even click that today's the 10th and tomorrow's the 11th. So I don't even have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about being like disrespecting anyone, because It's the day before. Oh, phew. I was a bit stressed there for a second. You gave me a heart attack, Nettie. It's 11 a.m. on the 11th of the 11th where you are. But the catch with that is, well, it's the 9th for you, Russell. It's the 10th for us. The catch with that thinking, Chintamani, is that if I'm live streaming and my guest is in Melbourne and I'm in Brisbane, 11 a.m. is at a different time for both of us. So we'd have to stop twice, is my question. Aussies are time travelers. We are from the future. Absolutely. Francis says, I'm playing in a local service, so it's definitely happening tomorrow. Yeah. Is Remembrance Day something that they celebrate or remember in the US? Or is it an Allies thing? The 11th of the 11th at 11 a.m. I'm not sure. Either stop twice or agree to one or the other. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not going to have to do it at all, so that's lucky. But yeah, and I'm out. I won't be live streaming anywhere tomorrow. At that time, I'll be getting my car serviced, which is exciting. Not. Yeah, I know it's international. I'm just not sure if the US do it. I know that the UK and France and a lot of other countries do. That's why I was wondering if it was just the Allies. Lol, hello, people from the past. Your ways are quaint. I don't even think it's limited to Commonwealth. Russell, I just think it's just not the US. So, but I could be wrong. So, yeah, interesting how, yeah, something that's so important for so many countries. In the US, they have Veterans Day, but it's not on the 11th of the 11th, though, is it? Yeah. Whoops, did I just? Oh no, I grabbed the right bit. I had a heart attack there for a second. I was just like, oh no, how long have I been grabbing the wrong loop? But it's not, it's the right loop. It's all good. It's nothing to see here. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Moving. Hey Russell, I'm surprised you're not in I'm surprised that you're not on in the primal video call this morning. Oh, it is on the 11th. Okay, so you guys do celebrate Remembrance Day. You just call it Veterans Day, but it's still the same day. And we're still celebrating remembering the same thing. I keep saying celebrating. It's not a celebration. It's in remembrance of. It's a somber day. Okay, cool. Because I was perplexed. I was perplexed. So on the 11th, you guys have Veterans Day. We call it Remembrance Day, but it's celebrating all the same thing. Okay. Very interesting. We always learn new and interesting things in these live chats, don't we? Different ways that different countries do things, even different states. That's the other fun one. It's not even a different country all the time. Sometimes it's just a different state. Yes, Russell, like happening probably right now if it's still running. They were doing the they had started at an hour before the live stream. It was the channel review session. It could even still be on. I don't know how long they normally go, but they're normally on a Thursday, so I don't normally get to go to them. Veterans Day is to honor veterans. Memorial Day is to honor those veterans who have passed. Okay, so maybe Remembrance Day is more like Memorial Day, because Remembrance Day is remembering those that we've lost. Oh, channel review. Yuck. I'm going to tell Justin you said that. Yeah, very educational, says Bianca. Yeah. I just think it's good that we have days to remember all the different people that provide our safety. No matter what it's called, in which country it's celebrated, I think it's good to have a day to remember. Yeah, we have Anzac Day, which is also a memorial. Yeah. That's definitely Australia, New Zealand. But it's starting to be celebrated a bit more widely afield. I'm not saying anything about that, Russell. But yeah, it's definitely definitely good to remember these things. I'm like, how far have I got? But I'm not even in the middle of the row yet. I'm like, so want to be through it. Yeah, Turkey too, because that's where it all happened. Yeah. But it's more the Turkish government let us have a ceremony there. It's not so much the Turkish having a ceremony. So, yeah. Oh, I've done it again. This hook. Does anyone have a spare 4.5 mil hook that's not a tulip that I can borrow while I do this dumb job? It's not a dumb job. Do this beautiful finish, this amazing finish on this giant blanket that I've been working on for half of my life, it feels like. That this is the final row. Oh my God. Oh, I split it again. Jeez. What am I doing? Why do I split it sometimes and not other times? What am I doing with the hook that's different? Am I twisting it? What am I doing? I'm going to have a little look. You have poopy gold? I mean, I'm willing to go with the poopy gold right now, honestly. So for those of you that don't know, the Clover soft touch hooks I call poopy golds because that's what they look like. It's not because they're bad to use or anything like that. It's just because they look like they're made of poopy gold. Jai says, I've got 1,000 hooks, don't you? Like, Jai, I do have 1,000 hooks, but I just don't seem to have any 4.5 mils anywhere that I can find. This is the only one I've got. I've got another, yeah, I'm going to have to, seriously, I definitely have a clover one because I bought an entire clover set. And I have the other tulip one because I bought an entire tulip set. But do you think I can find either of them when I need them? No, of course not. This is the only 4.5 mil that I could find. I've just worked out what it is I'm doing. I'm twisting my hook as it's coming through, and therefore it's splitting the yarn. I have one. Too bad you couldn't order one from that Chantelle person. I checked. I don't have any 4.5s, or I legit would have paid myself in a hook this week. I would have been like, having that. Having that. Wait a second. Wait a second, she says. Wait a second. What size are you? 5.5. What color is a clover 4.5? Does anybody know? The 4 is purple. I have a million of those. Purple, purple. That's a 6. That's a 5. 2, 3, 3.5, 3.5. Okay. I have multiples of other sizes and no 4.5. So there's one somewhere in my space somewhere. It's light blue. Okay. I'll check it. Oh, thank you, Sally Champion, for dealing with that. Just to double check, you are blocking them from the channel, but they do come back. They change their handle name by like one thing. That's really hard to see what it is, and then they come back again because they're stinkers. So yeah. Oh, sorry. You guys have got to tell me when my hand is out of shot because I just get sucked into what I'm doing. Oh, I've done it again. Far out. That's not split there. Good. Fixed. Okay, so if I go straight through and straight back. Nope, still split it. Straight through and back on an angle. That worked. So straight through and then back on an angle. Okay. Let's see how long that works for until I stop focusing on it and do something else. And then all of a sudden I split it again. Have you got any handmade wooden hooks from Creatively? No, I don't. I don't buy handmade hooks. I don't like wooden hooks. I do have. I've got a Furls hook, which I hate. I hate Furls hooks. I love how they look, but I crochet like that, so they're useless. So they're only good if you crochet like that. They sit perfectly if you crochet like that. I'll bring my hand down. But if you crochet like this, all the weight's in the wrong place, and yeah, they don't work for me. And I have a friend who made me one, and I love his, but yeah, I prefer a metal hook. I've got to go. Good luck on finishing. Have a great weekend. I hope to see you in the chat sometime, Angela, but I do understand time zones are not always our friend. So, yes, but have an awesome day, awesome week, awesome night. Game Widows also can't stand furls. I love the idea of furls, and I've got two because I thought maybe the one I got, because I got a plastic one first. So I thought maybe, oh, you bought plastic one. That's why you don't like it. Get the wooden one. And yeah, it just doesn't work for me. So luckily, there's lots of other hooks that I can buy that do work for me. And the furls can be left for those people that the furls work for, because we have choices. And we get to do what we want and get the tools that work for us, because we have choices. Definitely the theme of today's live stream. Holly also hates furls. Nettie's off. Bye, Nettie. See ya. Have a good one. Oh, it's after 12. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to finish it. I can't finish it in 10 minutes. Like normally if I can get something done in 10 minutes, I like keep going. But I don't think I could do it in 10 minutes. I mean, I'm on a little roll now. I've worked out what I was doing. Oops, hang on. That one I went through both loops. I worked out what I was doing wrong and fixed it, so I'm not splitting as many. So that helped speed me up. And I'm nearly at this last corner. Well, second last corner before the last row, I think. Yeah. There's a whole more row. So yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. It can't be done in that amount of time. But this is how it's looking. So that's one side. Oops, what's wrong? You're a bit hinky. So that's, look, see, I've done it there where I accidentally grabbed both sides. I can see it straight away. How annoying is that? Am I going to pull it back? No, I'm not. I'm not going to fix it because this is the front. The front looks amazing. The front looks fantastic. No one's going to flip up the bottom of the blanket and go, look at that. You can see she grabbed the wrong edge. That's terrible. Yeah. So, I have 110 notices of new videos. There's a lot of videos up on the Big Wool Show. So if you're subscribed over there, there's probably a handful of them there. So I'm not going to pull it back. No, I'm not. I'm not double checking how many times I've done it. Because look, I've done it one there and one there. One over here. Do you know what? I'm like, maybe I could pull it back. If it's not like, I'm not going to finish in Okay, so you know what? I am going to pull those back later, not now, but I will pull them back because it's only on that one section, and I'm going to do that because it will bug me now that I know that they're there. He says, "I bet you pull it back." I'm going to because I can't unsee it now. But what I will do is I will go and drape it over my bed and try and get some photos. I don't have how do I put this? My bedroom's a great place for sleeping. It is not meant for photo shoots. So it is not, it's just paint walls and a bed and bedside tables. There's nothing, it's not beautiful. So when you see the photos, no judgment on my bedroom. Okay. It's clean, it's tidy. It's just boring is really what it boils down to. Yeah. See, yeah. Yeah. And that was, yep. I'm gonna have to fix it. Yeah. You're all right. Everyone's right. The second I noticed it, my brain went, oh. Are you going to lay across the top of it? No. I don't think I understand the question. I love how you tried to convince us that, that it didn't matter, but you weren't convincing anyone. I know. Okay. I wasn't even convincing myself. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, I definitely will be pulling those back to fix them up. Oh no, I definitely won't be laying across the top of it in the photo. There's none of that going on. Nah. You guys can see the blanket. That is all. I might try and put something in there for gauge. I've got a Australian queen size bed. So what's that, like 2 meters by 2 meters or something? I don't know. I'd have to measure it. No glamour shots. No, it's not happening. That's not happening. Oh my gosh, you guys are the worst friends ever. Let's make it so I can read the chat easier with the right glasses. Oh my gosh. All right. See you all at the Big Bull Show. Absolutely. So that's what we're going to end on today. Big Bull Show is starting on Saturday at 10 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Get in there, go and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Make sure you're on the email list so you get the email notification. And make sure so that you get the notification 10 minutes before we go live so you know what's going on. Yes, I know. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, except that I have to fix that. Shh. Judgment. I feel it all. See you all on Saturday. And make sure you've got headphones and you're comfortable in comfy chairs and devices so you can chat in the chat because I'll need to see all your names appear in the chat. Friendly faces is what I need. All right. Have an awesome couple of days before I see you next. And then see you Saturday over on the Big Bull Show channel. Bye now.